All right, hello. Welcome to whoever might be out there. Welcome to, what is today? May? Man, who knows? May 6th?
6th. Yep.
It's day whatever it is for you in the world of the pandemic isolation situation. And thanks for tuning in. If you happen to be joining us live or watching it later on the YouTubes, thank you for doing that and following along with this little experiment of troubleshooting the internet. I'm Chris, and my guest this time is Leo. Leo Dion. Is that right?
Yes, you got it.
Wasn't sure how French up here in Canada anyways, that's Dion is a French name. I don't know if that's true where you are.
It's the Smiths of Quebec, right? It's like everybody probably, if you look up Dion in the phone book in Quebec, I'm sure it's a bit daunting. So yeah.
Are you out in Quebec?
Not as much here in Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. Yeah,
still.
Okay. I was confused there for a moment. I thought you were saying you were in Quebec. But yes. And so by way of introduction, I guess, who are you? What do you do in the world, Leo?
Yeah. So by trade, I'm a developer in the Apple platform, focused really on Swift. And I like to do Swift on not just the iPhone and the iPad and building apps there, but also Mac, Watch, server-side stuff as well. And I run a podcast called EmpowerApps.show, where we talk about software development for Apple developers and kind of what managers and CTOs can do to get up and ready with like all the new technologies that come out. Just talk about new Apple products and things like that as well. So yeah, I think that's a pretty decent summary of what I do.
Yeah.
I'm home with my wife and 5 kids, so it's a little bit of a madhouse, but we're getting by.
Yeah, 5 kids. Yeah. I'm feeling stressed with 3, but yeah. I'm assuming like schooling at home was not a thing you were doing before pandemic?
Nope. And schooling is, we are schooling from home, so we get homework, but they're pretty much like done for the year, more or less. Like they're all going to move to the next grade.
Yeah.
So, but we do like a few hours of schooling in the morning. It's either my wife or I or who do it.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in a similar boat. School is over, but we're still doing school and work anyways to keep their brains not turning to complete Fortnite mush, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I had a guest on a few weeks ago who works for Disney streaming services, and I'm very thankful for the help that they've done for parents like us. But like, yeah, I don't want to spend all day them watching movies and TV all the time.
Yeah. I know it's great that Netflix and Disney come out with new stuff and launch things for folks to watch that you haven't seen already or whatever. But yeah, at the same time, there is only so many days or hours in the day, I guess. And up here, anyways, it's finally nice enough that they can go outside. And so we're kind of like, trying to undo some of the screen time addiction that we did for when it was too cold to be outside. So it's been really nice right now. Luckily, we're in the middle of our screen time hour before dinner, so this is going to work out really well. Yeah,
they're going to hook up video games.
Yeah. Mine are outside and hopefully not killing each other with some sort of stick or something and come running in here. So, but that's good. That's what everybody's dealing with, I think, these days, or lots of people, anyways, are for sure. So, in terms of like development, what are there, like, obviously I'm sure people then right away are wondering, like, so is there an app that you developed that I've used, or what kind of apps have you worked on or do you work on?
Yeah, so most of my work is contract work typically, or subcontract work. I've worked with like big, large corporations. There's a insurance company in town that I've built an app for here. Done stuff for exercise equipment recently. All sorts of clients. My 2 app projects that are kind of personal right now, for developers, it's kind of a pain in the butt to deal with graphics, because you have to have each size correct. I don't know if you've done like fav icons on a website.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, where you have to have like every little size for every little iPhone that's been out since cavemen. I don't think you have to have an icon for the Newton, but still, it's pretty much every single size that you could possibly need, from Mac to Watch to car. So I built an app called Speculate that specializes with that. That specifically resizes all the icons according to like what device it's targeted for.
Right.
So it does all that resizing for you, kind of like how you might have like a fav icon generator for web developers.
Right. Yeah.
And then, so the other thing is I have an app for the Apple Watch called Heart Twitch. Maybe I can. No, I don't think I could show it, but
I can show it here. Heart Twitch.
Yeah, it's Heart Twitch.
Yeah, I remember
so
seeing
the
it in
idea
Mega
is it's a you set up a web browser window, and then you can share that web browser window that shows your heart rate, and it's basically for live streaming. So, like if you've used live streaming programs, you can like share the web browser window, and then it'll automatically update your heart rate, and you can show it. There's
what's the URL for it?
Hearttwitch.app.
Hearttwitch.app. Okay.
Yep.
Twitch.
And Speculate is speculate.com. And we're on version 2. Just released it last week for Speculate, the app icon generator.
Heartwitch.app?
Heart Twitch.
Heart?
So Heart Twitch, but 1 T, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
.app. There we go. Okay. Here, let's show the desktop here. Gotcha. So yeah, like you can stream. That's awesome.
Yeah. So right now, I'm redesigning the website, hoping to get that out by next week. So a lot of web development stuff there.
So you're a bit of jack of all trades when it comes to like, but actually not. I consider myself a jack of all trades when it comes to the web stuff, tech side, but not really good at any one thing at all. Not just in a false humility kind of way, but actually just very surface level of a lot of things.
Right.
But you actually are pretty deep into some of this stuff, obviously getting this kind of stuff out. And a Spiky Swim just said, every time Chris or Leo says app, viewers drink a shot. So maybe don't do that.
Does that espresso count?
Yeah.
Spiky Swim does espresso count?
Yeah,
I have like kind of a coffee, it's dark coffee, so I don't know.
I know. I'm going to run out of coffee too if we do that. But and CoverSwid over on Mixer asked, is it working yet? I'm not sure what they're referring to, but maybe.
So both apps are released.
Yeah.
Speculate is not in the Mac App Store. It's just go to the website. You can download it there or install it through Homebrew. If you're a developer, you probably heard of Homebrew before.
Yeah.
And then Heart Twitch is in the App Store. It's free. Download the app. Thank you.
Yeah, coffee counts.
Download the app for Heart Twitch off the App Store and then sign up through the website so you can get started with that at any time.
Nice. So yeah, I don't have an Apple Watch, so I guess that's one limitation. I have to figure out a way to.
Do you have an iPhone?
I do have an iPhone.
Get an app. Come on. They're like $200 now. They're not even that expensive.
$200 US. That's like 6,000 Canadian. So
6,000. Was that Looney Tooney? Yeah. So
yeah, Chris of all trades.
Right.
Thanks, Nate. Yeah. So yeah, but that is neat. Like, and then you can actually obviously watch when someone's actually getting excited in a game or whatever, and keep going that way. So yeah, Chris needs to add an Apple Watch reward level to Patreon. There you go. That doesn't seem self-serving at all. It's for the viewers so they know my heart rate. That's why I would do it, right?
So I've seen like a lot of people who play horror games on Twitch will use it. That's been a big thing. So yesterday I was working on adding, like, you could change the background color now, and I added like the greenest green I could add, and I was showing the kids in OBS how green screen works, and a couple of kids had clothes with green on, and I added this like beach background. They're just like cracking up, like, whoa, my head. It's like, it's pretty cool, isn't it? So yeah.
Interesting. So for you, the motivation, what, like, behind developing an app like that is, they're asking, Specky Swim is asking, what was the URL to the Specula icon thing? Just, I'll throw that up here too.
Yeah, let's spell that out for the audience.
Speculid app?
Speculid, yeah. Maybe you could put it in the chat.
Easily manage graphics in Xcode projects?
Yes.
That's the one. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
There, I've got it on screen too. I'll just throw it in the chat too, so it goes around to all the places. Easily manage graphics in Xcode projects.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
So you were like, one of the things especially with Heart Twitch is like, I like to live stream, or I'd like to live stream more, but I wanted to build. I wanted to use like a lot of new technologies and see how robust it is. So the whole back end is written in Swift, which is not what people typically have done, but it's becoming more accessible. And then the other thing is they have this idea now of creating an independent watch app. So typically when you build a watch app, you needed an iPhone app companion with it, like no matter what, even if it didn't do anything. They changed that last fall, so I wanted to build an app that was completely independent of the iPhone. So there is like no iPhone app for Heart Twitch; it's completely independent. And then I like that idea, like real-time communication. So it changed, like as the watch reads your heart rate, it automatically posts that to the server. It's not saved anywhere because I don't want to save anybody's health data. I do not want to deal with that. It's just basically sent to the server, and the server broadcasts it to your web browser, and then you can use like OBS or whatever streaming platform to share that web browser window.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want, that's definitely the thing. You don't want to have any of that data.
Right.
So in terms of even just like for people whose brains started going with like ideas on that, like what are the costs, raw costs for you per month? I mean, obviously it depends how many people are doing it, but using the app, but your server costs obviously are something.
Yeah. It's pretty minimal right now, and I'm trying to keep it down, pretty minimal. Once I start charging for it, and I'm still trying to figure out like how to monetize something like that. My idea is to like charge for people who like really use it heavy duty, and want like super customizations. And then at that point I could like build a much more robust server and start really like dedicating time to it. Right. For now, it's like almost like a technical hobby, I would say at this point, until I start monetizing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you can definitely get into all sorts of neat scenarios there where, and even like, so is I don't know how this works with the API on an Apple Watch, or how much access you have, I guess, to the Apple Watch, but presumably other things could be opened up by this then too for streaming stuff from your watch, right? Like your whatever, I guess.
So health is the big thing, like especially with the watch. I mean, that's kind of been its niche, is how useful the watch is in getting health data. So that's why I thought about that as like the easiest thing to like share live on screen.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. You could have some sort of like reward level if your heart rate hits a certain thing.
I mean, that's like prime for that, especially that's prime for like gamification, right? It's like, oh, you shared your heart rate 12 times this month. Yeah. You earned the purple medal, whatever crap. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Or each time your heart drops below a certain point, you get an ad for something on your stream, I guess, and you could overlay.
Oh, that'd be great. Oh, that'd be wonderful press.
Yeah, exactly.
New Heart Switch app rewards people for poor health. Yeah, I'd love that.
No, it's like calming. You're promoting meditation, maybe, or peacefulness, mindfulness.
Thanks.
You just got to spin it the right way.
Yeah.
So what in terms of with pandemic life, and you alluded to like obviously having 5 kids at home and stuff like that, but what are you seeing with clients even in terms of like how they're changing and adapting and working differently in like obviously, besides working from home, but just in terms of their business practices and things they're having to do differently now in light of what's going on?
I'm already working remote, so most of the clients I work with have already been set up for remote work. So that hasn't been too much of an issue. What I have noticed is like, and this is your cup of tea, but like podcast listening habits are like really off, because I think like with my podcast, it's 80% commute, and there is no commute right now.
Yeah. So
I've like really been just throwing out episodes randomly for the most part, because there's just no point in having like a real schedule. So that's been my biggest change. And then obviously like my wife works from home too, and she's super busy. She does some stuff in the like financial services area, and they're running around like chickens with no heads. So it's like they're constantly like, she's constantly having meetings dealing with that and having to stay up to date on that stuff.
Yeah.
So like we've had to figure out like a schedule, like what, at first we had a very rigid 6-day schedule, but now we've broken that down to where it's every other day. Like one of us has a morning, one of us has an afternoon, and one of us works in the evening, and one of us does bedtime. And that's like worked out really well, because it throws a little bit of difference in our schedule. We're both pretty much working all day, but like one parent will be focused on the kids more or less, because I've got kids from like 3 to 10. So I still have little ones, and I have a little one in diapers. So somebody needs to kind of pay attention and like either help with homework or something.
Yeah, that's definitely that phase would be a tough one, I'm sure, and it is tough for lots of folks right now. That I know I often lament, or like I was joking with you beforehand, that hoping the kids don't run in here because they've hit each other or destroyed something in our house or whatever is one aspect. But yeah, the diaper phase too is a whole nother angle too that I'm sure lots of folks.
I'm hoping he's really, really stubborn. He probably got that from me, but like he's like, no, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing. Yeah. So it's like, no, come on, buddy. You got to it stinks. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's I know my wife and I too are dealing with that kind of thing. We sort of figure out who has meetings, like Zoom or whatever, call or a very important live stream thing going on. Very important. Whatever the case may be, and then sort of arranging things around that. But yeah, for us, definitely school work in the morning, some screen time in the afternoon,
outdoor time. Kind of which thank God this pandemic is during spring. Yeah. And then if both of us have meetings, the thing is that's where maybe streaming comes in, letting them watch something if we both have meetings at the same time. Yeah. And that's maybe once a week that happens, but not too often. So, or a rainy day, that's where okay, they can watch something. Yeah.
Yeah. We've been kind of hit with really warm weather, and then you think, okay, great. And then it's cool for the next day. And so then everybody's kind of back into frustrated mode. What anything that the kids are watching these days that outside of the big, Star Wars or whatever, I guess, but outside of the obvious that your kids have picked up on?
So we got Disney Plus. There's a show based on New Emperor's Groove. They've been really into that lately. So, that's about it. I can't really think of what else they've been watching. We finally watched Rise of Skywalker last night. My wife, I spoiled myself. I never watched it, but I ended up spoiling myself and was so unenthusiastic about watching it. But I was like, okay, fine, let's just get this done. You can watch it, honey, so that way you can watch all the reviews and spoilers that I've been watching over the last few months. And it was like, I'm just glad to get it done. It's like a kidney stone. So,
just like George Lucas intended to be.
Yeah, what's that?
I said it's just like George Lucas intended it when he came up with Star Wars, just to make people feel like they're passing a kidney stone. But that's what we did May 4th as well. We did the finished off the, I keep wanting to say trilogy, but whatever 9 tuplet, I don't know, whatever the thing is, but kind of lined it up. So we ended on the 9th the 4th with the 9th movie. Yeah.
What have your kids been watching?
They do they're pretty actually having a lot of fun with Minecraft, and then occasionally Fortnite. But Minecraft actually saw a huge resurgence. They'd sort of gotten away from playing it, and then with this kind of everybody being home and cousins across the country or whatever, playing with them on Minecraft and setting up. We paid for a month of Realms, the Minecraft server. Online thing, and that worked out really well. We just kind of happened. It's great in terms of Minecraft being playable on really old computers still, so you're not dealing with having the latest greatest, like Fortnite or whatever. So
I've sheltered my kids from Fortnite. Thank God.
Good.
So, they're really into Minecraft. They're into Minecraft, and then we have a Switch. We have 4 controllers for the Switch, which thank God we finally fixed a couple of the controllers. So. Those things finally work. So they play a lot of Nintendo Switch, and then we have the iPad and an extra iPhone that they can play some strategy games on, and an old DS. So we have this rotation of video games where they can have first pick. It's very organized because screen time is very coveted in our house.
Exactly.
So, but and an old Wii. So it's okay, today it's my oldest first pick. What do you want to play? And I want the Switch. And they're very enthusiastic about what they want, and they know if they do everything throughout the day, they get their screen time at the end. That works out pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. We actually the kids pooled money and stuff and got a Switch at Christmas here, and that's they kind of ran through Mario Kart as the big game they really wanted to run through.
Fantastic game.
We have Breath of the Wild as well that me and the oldest are both kind of working our way through, but yeah, we're kind of now okay, we need a new multiplayer everybody game on the Switch.
So there's you want me to throw out suggestions?
Sure, yeah.
How old are your kids?
We're 12, 10, and 7, so sort of that.
Mario Party's pretty good. If you have 4 controllers?
Yeah, two sets of whatever they're called, the Joy-Cons. Yeah, so 4 Joy-Cons.
So 4 total, yeah. Mario Party's pretty decent. Trying to think what else is 4 players.
Does it run its course? Mario Party always, I played it in the past. I haven't played the Switch version. Does it have its holding value, I guess, or beyond a few plays? Or is it kind of once you've seen a couple of the gimmicks, you're good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I guess
know.
the Switch games are like, to me, are just like that little bit too expensive to just be a quick purchase. Like they're up here anyways. They're usually $80. And
okay, yeah, that's probably about the same.
Yeah, I'm sure it works out about the same. So it feels like it's just a little bit too high for like, sure, let's go grab Mario Party kind of decisions.
Yeah. The thing about it is it's good for like party games. Like if you want everybody to sit at the couch and play together. I play a lot of Mario Maker. That's awesome because not only is there a really good, they've added a lot to that game to where you can build a whole entire game within it now. I don't know if you've seen this.
I've never played. I've seen trailer, but yeah.
Yeah, they have like a world. You can build your own world map, so you can go online and play other people's set of worlds, which is really fun. And it has local 4-player.
Nice.
And I like building levels, so that's fun. Trying to think what else. I mean, have you played Mario Odyssey?
That one we haven't. Is that the one that's remixed? Because we had a Wii. And I can't remember which Mario games.
No. It's a 3D, totally Switch game. It's really one player though.
Yeah.
So that is the only problem with that. Trying to think what else. Man. Yeah, wife and I have been playing Yoshi's World, whatever that one.
Yeah, that one looks fun too. I know my daughter, the youngest, is definitely was keen on that one right away. Yep. We played the demo.
And then I am really good about like finding good deals and like buying them up. So, like if I see a game that's half off, I'm kind of in the same boat where like $60, it's 60 USD, right?
Yeah.
It's like that's a bit much, but if it's like down to 40, like okay, maybe I'll buy it.
Yeah, I kind of use the metric of like for our family to go to a movie. Let's say if we went out to a 2.5 hour movie, that's like $40-$50 at least up here, anyways, Canadian. Right. So if it's somewhere in that range, that feels like, well, it's a night out or it's 5 evenings or whatever of playing a game. It's kind of a fair balance in my mind in terms of playability.
Right. Are there going to be movies again, you think?
I don't know. We actually drove, it's funny last weekend, funny you say that, because last weekend I drove downtown here to get something and drove past like the big movie Cineplex theater or whatever. And I actually got a little emotional because it was like, man, like normally my wife and I for sure, and then like once every couple of weeks we try and get out to a movie, and for sure once a month, and then the kids every couple of months or whatever kind of thing, and realizing just like that we haven't been for so long and that we likely won't be for a very long time yet too. Like I don't know what they're doing out where you are, but we keep getting emails from Cineplex, is the company here, where they're like trying to get us to buy popcorn or food from the movie theater to deliver it.
Are you serious?
Like
that's so desperate.
Yeah, it's a little, I don't know. It feels a little like, I mean, maybe they'll catch us on the right mood where we're like, yeah, let's just get some movie popcorn. But
yeah, I don't know. Like there's that whole thing, is it AMC and Universal now are like pissed at each other because like Universal, put up a bunch of their movies on live streaming or on streaming, like the new Trolls one.
Yeah.
And AMC's like, well, we're never going to have another Universal movie again. And it's like, are you being like, I don't know. And then, speaking of Disney, I mean, I'm reading that like Disney took a big financial hit because of their parks.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really surprising because I always think like Disney, like I forget. Oh yeah, like probably half of their revenue comes from parks. It's like I totally forget about that.
Yeah, I'm sure they're. I mean, obviously they're glad they're into the streaming stuff now with whatever everything that's going on.
Right.
But yeah, the park side is obviously taking a massive hit, and
yeah,
I don't. It's hard to imagine. We'll see obviously, but it's hard to imagine how they're going to reopen anytime soon with what's going on. But
yeah,
hopefully
they don't want to deal with that headache.
No, yeah. So, cool. Well, I don't know. There's anything else that's on your brain with the business/life pandemic that we're in, and thoughts you've been having?
I don't know what I'm going to do about conferences. I'm actually speaking at a conference next week, and which is cool. It's whatever live streamed, right? But like, I kind of miss meeting people in person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like there's a networking aspect, and even just the hallway chats you have with folks that you wouldn't otherwise meet, and then develop partnerships or friendships or whatever that comes of that, sales and things like that. And yeah, the online version just doesn't quite cut it. I know I was just actually editing a podcast. I'm trying to remember who that was with. Smashing Magazine guy was a guest on a podcast and Shop Talk show, and yeah, I talked about how he's sort of pivoted. They had just started doing more conferences again. and now they're pivoting to more workshop oriented things where it's like, rather than trying to get someone's attention all day, like on, Friday, Leo's going to be talking about this. And then at 10 o'clock, someone else is talking about this and someone else. And then, kind of like taking up the whole day, trying out the idea of doing a week of every day at 10 o'clock, we're doing a talk or a session or whatever.
It's almost like a meetup.
Yeah, in a sense. And so it's kind of like rather than giving up your whole day, one day, you kind of have every day at 10 o'clock for an hour or whatever. You'll have a workshop with Brad Frost doing whatever and stuff. And then the person obviously is free to hang out for as long as they want, I guess. But versus like the whole day, because it is exhausting. I mean, we're all doing it all the time anyways, but like staring at the screen, watching someone, hearing someone, paying attention enough that you're actually learning stuff, etc.
Right.
And to have, 6 hours of that in a day is a lot. And I think we're seeing a bit of that. And so anyways, it's kind of an interesting kind of spin on it's nothing groundbreaking, I don't think, but it's just interesting way of looking.
Yeah, that's a really interesting, conversation. Because like, I think conferences were already pretty difficult to put on. I even like researched it myself a little bit about doing like a conference here in town, but then now it's already, I feel like we're going to end up with almost like, how do I put it? Like a real clearing of a lot of like conferences that have been successful.
Oh yeah.
Or we're not necessarily successful, kind of like teetering. And now it's just going to be like a lot of these conferences, they're not going to be able to maintain themselves. And then like, hopefully some new conferences come back, because I feel like there is some benefit to like going to a location and meeting people for real.
Yeah.
Outside of just like Slack and Discord and stuff like that.
Totally. Yeah. Actually, I just got a tweet here from Todd, who's obviously watching, but not watching where he can chat. But he's local Reddit subgroup here that someone's ordered, said, if you're parents and looking to have a normal fun experience with the kids, I highly recommend ordering from Cineplex. Ordering the $29.99, so $30 combo Canadian anyways, free delivery for 2 popcorn, 2 snacks, 2 drinks, and a Cineplex movie for $5 or $6. And just kind of like bringing that movie experience home, I guess. I'm still skeptical on the buttery popcorn getting delivered in time, but I guess everything else gets delivered in relatively easy fashion, so why not?
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah.
Anyways, thanks, Todd. The conference thing is and all sorts of business stuff that's sort of like changing, obviously, and you see people adapting, and from coffee shops to stores, clothing stores. The bike shop I went to I just dropped my bike off to get tires repaired, and they've had they still are doing distancing where they have squares on the ground where you have to like stand outside the store and et cetera. And then, but they've got he said, they've had 40 bikes dropped off just today to get fixed and stuff. And so there's certain businesses that are going to see a bit of a boom here with warm weather and slowly opening up a little bit. But the long-term I think effects of this are still going to be felt and determined here in a few weeks or months.
One thing I'm worried about is that like some businesses think this is normal remote work. You know what I mean? Literally like, oh wow, this is what remote work is like. Like, no, we can't ever do this again. And it's like, no, this is not normal. Like, you don't have everybody home and your kids home constantly. Yeah. Like, I had a specific schedule of like, my wife would work like 3 days a week and the kids would be out of the house Tuesday through Thursday. And like, no, like that hasn't happened since February now. And like, this is not normal, Yeah,
exactly.
So I kind of feel like some companies are either like, they don't know how to handle asynchronous work and remote work. Cause I think that's a big part of it, is like the asynchronicity of it is like, you do something, you have to wait for them to be done and to respond back. Like, you can't just go to somebody's cube and whatever, talk about some stupid show that you watched last week or some game that you watched. You can't just interrupt people all the time. Whereas like you have to be like asynchronous. And I think like, I like that. I like that there's like, people have to actually be organized and not like expect everything to be done immediately all the time. Yeah. And there's always like work stacked up so you can like, you're not bored and not doing anything. But I feel like, some companies can make that excuse like, oh, like this remote work thing doesn't work. And it's like, well, that, and they don't know how to do asynchronous work and they don't know how to do like the IT stuff for remote work. So they're just going to make that excuse. And I think that would be unfortunate. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of possibilities here for businesses who've learned new skills. But yeah, the asynchronous, which I feel like is one of those words that I understand the meaning of, but I don't, does that mean like I respond, I write you a message and you respond when you have time to respond, right? It's not,
Right.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
which in
I'm
general.
doing a whole talk on asynchronous programming. You should check it out
There you
next
go.
week. It's like it'll be perfect. No, but yeah, that's the idea. Is like rather than I go to your cube and ask you a question, interrupt your work, and then like you have to answer right away. Like with the idea is more like, you know, you send a message to someone, you have to wait for them to respond back, and like obviously you want things to be responded within a certain time, but I mean,
Yeah.
like you're more organized and you're more attuned to the fact that like you're not always the most important priority all the time.
Yeah, that's what I
And,
know. My wife is struggling there where she works. Is she's struggling with that? So because there is, you see folks who are like meeting types and who need to meet to, and who almost need to like, they use the excuse anyways, whether it's real or not. I don't know. I'm sure that like everybody has. I'm more in line with you. Like I want to be able to send you a message, then you respond when you have time and you have time to think
right.
about it and respond. Then respond. But people who need to like almost have a desire or a need to respond and talk through their thoughts with you, which definitely sometimes happens. That's obviously like a creative thing to do.
And I'm not saying like there isn't like, hey, let's schedule a phone call like to do this. Like obviously you need to talk to people for real, like kind of like what we're doing now.
Yeah,
but I
this
mean,
would be boring over text.
but I mean like you know, everything I like the rigidity and organization of it, and like just being able, hey, can we chat? Like they can't not always the most important thing in the world. I just find like when I've worked in corporate cultures, like there's just so much filler, and like
Yeah.
the odd idea of like, oh yeah, if you're gonna surf Facebook, you got to come to our office and surf Facebook. You can't surf Facebook from home while you're working. It's like, you know, people are checking their ESPN or whatever like garbage they're reading at work. Like it's not like work is this perfect environment where everything is done all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit like, sorry, I'm just a little bit cynical about the whole working from office thing. It's just like that's not how people are. Like,
Yeah,
you
you're
know what I
definitely
mean?
you're not getting people's best version of working from home right now for multiple reasons. Like never mind the stress of what is going on in the world,
Right.
plus kids at home that wouldn't normally be at home, plus maybe a partner or spouse
Right.
that's at home that wouldn't normally be at home. So there's a lot of extra variables at play here that isn't representing what normal. Like I've been working at home or working remotely or whatever for 10 years in my business, and this is very normal to me, the idea of doing this, but this is not normal the way it's all playing out, and there's a lot of extra stress going on. Trust
Yeah.
me. Than there.
I was
than there would
telling
be.
somebody on Twitter was talking about like, oh, it's hard to work from home, and I'm like, one thing that I miss is just being able to go to a coffee shop and
Yeah.
like just get out of the house and go work somewhere else. It's like the same scenery all the time.
Yeah.
And like I don't have that benefit like right now. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, just even the simplicity of going, and this is universal, obviously, not just for people who are trying to work from home, but just the simplicity of like running out to grab a coffee or running out to whatever without any of the extra stress of thinking, do I need to wash my hands 30 times before I do this? Is it going to be, is this going to be the one that actually gets me infected with this stupid disease
Right.
or whatever, you know, just because I was desperate for a $6 Starbucks or whatever the case may be, to get, some different scenery out of the equation. So, yeah. So hopefully the folks are like, I actually just saw, who was it? DHH, one of the Basecamp folks tweeted a link to a New York Times article about how like some companies are trying to monitor their staff at home, obviously now, and track what they're watching. And anybody who's
It's so childish. It's just like, just as long as they get their work done, like why this? Like why treat people like this? It's man, I just get.
It's so simple because if your job or your workplace is that like you're paranoid about your employees, chances are you're doing something to make them not enjoy their work and they're going to be distracted or whatever. But at the end of the day, if they don't get their work done, you're going to know. And then you deal with that and you fire them or you, whatever the case may be.
Right.
So anyways, that's some good rants for working at home. So give it a chance. If you're out there, you're a boss somehow watching this, still watching, haven't turned it off and you're not monitoring yourself, I guess, and watching this live stream, give your employees a chance to try it out later in the real situation. Because I think there's a lot of benefits to working from home that folks who, under normal circumstances where, like you'd know the same thing, I'm sure, but like half hour to an hour commute that's gone basically because you don't have to do that. And so that's extra time either working, but hopefully it's maybe time you spend with your family or you spend time reading or you go for a walk or whatever rather than being stuck in traffic and things like that. So anyways, we'll end there. Thanks, Leo. Where can we've already covered it, but just to make sure folks know, where can they go to find out more about what you do and how they could hire you or chat with you or watch you talk?
Sure. They can find me on Twitter, Leo G. Dion. And then my company is brightdigit.com. And then there's a bunch of links on there. If you want to post a link to HeartTwitch, it's hearttwitch.app. You can post that in the chat. But mostly Twitter, Leo G. Dion. That's it. You can reach me there. All the links are there.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me on. This was fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah, likewise. Thanks for taking up the call to pop on. So we'll try and be back. I'm trying to do it every week, but life, as everybody knows, is a little bit crazy sometimes. And so sometimes it doesn't happen. So my thanks to Matt, who was going to be on last week, and I had to cancel, but we'll try and get him on again. And we'll see you again. Try to stream every Wednesday night afternoon, just depending on what time it works best for the guest who's going to come on with me and chat. And so if you're following along on Periscope or Twitch or YouTube or Mixer, hit whatever favorite or subscribe thing is appropriate for that stream, and you'll be notified when I go live again. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you later. Have a good day. Bye.